What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Empyrion. So I spent a bunch of time last night creating my spaceship, and this is her. Now, we're not going to be able, so I was being optimistic when I said we could leave the planet like the next episode. I have become aware of things that I was not previously aware of, and so we actually need to farm up a few more emergency rations as well before we go back out, because really anything and everything could happen while we're out there. But before we go much further, I wanted to give you a little visual tour of the ship that I built the other night. It took quite a bit of time, actually. It took a surprising amount of time to get this done. It was a project that took me a little while. Now on the top, you'll see that I've got the fuel tanks. They're all lined up right here. I've got them symmetrical on both sides. On this back end right here, we've got ourselves 3 oxygen tanks so that I can refill my oxygen. Maybe, I'd say we'd be able to refill our entire tank maybe 3 times, which is enough time to play around with, because I think you get about 25 minutes, 30 minutes worth of oxygen every single time you refill. And if we're going to be on another planet, we may not have the option. Oh, there's an Odiug over there. I made a bunch of bullets too, by the way. I figured we were going to be going to the next planet in this episode, but I'm not exactly sure if that's going to happen. Oh, hey, there's a dent in my ship. That's not okay. So when you build yourself a ship, you need to have top thrusters right here. That's so you can go down, and you got to have them on the bottom so you can go up. You got to have one facing that way so that you can use the brakes in reverse, and then you got to have a whole bunch back here to help move this big old bricky mass around. On the sides, I've got all of my little thrusters right here, and this is actually over here something that I'm not super happy about. I had to put in the oxygen station right there. I was trying to get it to work another way, but that was really the only spot where I could, I don't know, it was the only spot where the oxygen could gain, like, I guess, equitable purchase. It was the only spot that I could put it where I could actually use the machine. I had thought for a little while about putting kind of like a hatchback on the back of the craft, because I modeled the back after an APC, and I was hoping that there would be some ability to make a hatchback for your vehicle so that you could open it up and get inside, because then I could have put the oxygen in here, I could have put a constructor in there. Unfortunately, no such object exists. I really hope that at some point the developers allow you to make a hatchback or some kind of sliding door on the back of like a small vehicle so that you can actually get inside of it. But I've got 2 storage chests over here because I figure we'll probably be out there for a while, and this is my celestial station wagon. I kind of like it. It's got like a Ghostbusteries vibe. It's got a Ghostbustery vibe. That's what I would say about it. I've been staring at it a little bit. The only part that I'm not happy with is the front end. I think I could do better on the front end, but I gave it kind of like a scrunchy, adorable platypus face because I felt like it. That one's for you, ladies. No, that one's for me. I like adorable, squishy creatures as much as the next guy. But that's basically the front end. I tried 2 or 3 different front ends when I was playing around with it. I had one that was kind of tanky looking. I had one that had the platypus face, and then I had another one that had kind of like a Klingon bird of prey thing going on in the front. And I ultimately decided to settle on this one, even though I may have liked one of the other models better just because this one has, it's cute. It's got a scrunchy ducky nose. I don't know. So what we need to do for right now is we need to figure out how in the hell we are going to make ourselves some rations. And as I understand it, it's actually a pretty complicated recipe to accomplish, but I think you get a bunch out whenever you do it. And so this might require us to actually expand our farming practices quite a bit, and it may also require us to do a few things that may be a little bit time intensive. I'm hoping that it is not. But in order to make an emergency ration, look at that list right there. Like, look how much stuff you have to make that. You have to have pear-thing fruits, space durians, and that's about it, actually. That's about all that we need. But the first thing that we're going to need if we want to get this thing going, and it's actually been a stop block for most of our creation, is a water generator. And so I need to go over here, and I don't remember where I saw it in here. I saw it in here somewhere. But it's a machine that should be right next to the oxygen generator. It's probably in here. And that looks, there's the oxygen generator. Okay, so the water generator. We need 1 motor. So let's go ahead. We'll build our 1 motor in order to square that away. And by the way, the fact that we rolled all of those towers before we went ahead and built our spacecraft, it was clutch, because it meant that I really didn't have to go farm anything. Although it took me around, God, it took me a lot of ingots to get that craft done. I think it took me 500 or 600 iron ingots just to like get the whole thing going and moving. And then on top of that, I had to make so many support parts. We went through a lot of stuff. So with the water generator, my assumption here is that we just take this bad boy. How much Promethium do I have left? 345. You know what? Let's go ahead and process that Promethium while I'm out and about and I'm kind of just getting things going. And it only takes 1 ore for that, so let's take that all the way on up to 344. We're not going to get it all done. I can almost promise you. Why do I have an extra fuel tank in my inventory? I'm always carrying around random stuff that I don't actually tangibly need. I'm going to start putting away some of these blocks too, because I really don't think that there's going to be anything we're going to be building anytime soon, aside from maybe a farming area. But I got the grow lights if we need them, and I should be able to make it happen. I should also be able to farm up a couple of sprouts in the worst case scenario. I'll probably throw those in there. I don't think you need spoiled food for anything. I don't think we need to fertilize or do anything like that. It might also be a decent idea for us to track down... Well, I don't know. It might be a good idea for us to track down a way to heal ourselves if we're going to be abroad for a while. And so, just little things I've been thinking about. I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to go out into nature and go to a new place, I want to be really, really prepared. I don't want any surprises. I want everything to work and function like the exact way that I expect it to. So let's go out. I'm going to try and find some fibers. I don't know what fibers drop off of, but my assumption is, what the hell is this? Oh, they changed the way the rocket launcher looks. That's cool. They patched it in. That's got like a really badass Bioshocky look too. Cool. Okay, I knew that lately they've been retexturing and just kind of like recreating the artwork for things. And honestly, I've been really impressed by how hard the team is hustling with this game. Like, this is a game that is made by a very small team, and yet they're patching like almost every other day, every couple days. They are really, I gotta assume that they're not getting much sleep over there at the Empyrion headquarters. I can tell you that much right now. They seem to be burning the candle at both ends, trying to get this thing out and done, and I respect that. I respect that a lot, because a lot of indie developers, they're sort of complacent about development. They put out their game, and then they're just like really slow, and they're like, you know, tortoise in the hair about it. We need to find fibers. I could run around, like, not on foot. Ooh, there's some corn dogs over here. No, those aren't corn dogs. Never mind. So if you want, I still haven't broke down the escape pod. I need to sit there and break it all down, but I'm just so lazy. I'm so lazy. So this is our vehicle. I mean, we could take it out for a spin if we want. It is fully functional. If you wanted to take a look at it from the back, there it is right there. I actually very much like this craft. It's got a fondness for me because it's the first like spaceship I've ever designed in a voxel game. And so I feel like I did an adequate job. I don't feel like it's ugly or stupid looking, which is pretty much all that you can ask for sometimes when you're trying to build something. I really don't need to take this thing around. One thing that I will say is I wish that it had an altimeter, because it's very, very difficult for me to tell how high up in the air I am, and I am just constantly crashing it into the ground trying to land it. I know I've also got to do some repairs down here. Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I've got a couple of... I thought I heard something coming at me. So do these give fibers? I need to figure out which plants give fibers, because I'm going to try and get a bunch of those. So that gives me eggplant parts. What did that do? It just gives eggplant parts. Okay. And it's got a 35-minute perish time. That's actually going to be kind of hard to stick with. What does that drop? It drops alien plasma. I guess it says exactly what it drops. So fiber looks like... That noise is really loud and it's freaking me out. So fibers look like they come off of these little plants right here. They got kind of like a... I don't know. They don't look any different from any other like pokey plant that sticks up in the air, but I figure I'll take a look. Oh, look, we're still discovering deposits around here. Wasn't really something that I was looking for, but you know what? I'll take it. I think he's actually aggroed on us right now, but I don't really care that much. Akua fruit. That's an egg. Is that the fiber plant? See, I'm having trouble identifying it because it's so dark. The plant is also a little bit tiny, so... Get some cactus spears over on that side. My god, look at the wildlife in this game. It tends to, like... The animals in this game actually breed. Like, they don't have an animation or anything like that. They aren't like, whack, 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 wow. Like, they don't get out there and do the animal nasty, like, right in front of you. But they do breed. Like, if you've got a bunch of animals in the same area, you'll see new ones spawn, like, in the middle of the rest of the animals, which is kind of an interesting feature to think about, but I'm not sure if there's, like, an end to the amount that they actually spawn. There it is. I think that one gives me fibers, and then I think that one right there will as well. I just needed a little bit more sunlight. This is fire moss. We might need that. Fire moss is used for making stimulants like meth. Like, essentially, if you really, really wanted to have a drug problem on an alien planet, that would probably be the plant that I would look towards. I need more eggplant. There's that right there. There's that right there. I should probably put down my water generator, too. It doesn't actually seem like it's going to be that difficult to create the rations, but it's like one of those little projects that we really need to get on top of before I do anything else. Man, those little... There's one. Those little fiber plants... there's one right there. Hell yeah, they look like milkweed or something. I don't know. Milkweed, what I remember from that as a kid is that milkweed would always make your fingers hella sticky when you were playing around with it. And then later on, you'd like pick your nose or something. And then like it just had stickiness in your nose. Or I don't know. When I was a little kid. Yeah, this was like last week. You know, I've changed since then. I'm going to go around to the right. about face? They're like, yeah, what about it? Alright, so we'll go back over here. It does go a lot faster than our car, by the way. It's like crazy fast. So if you want to fly very, very rapidly, the small vessel is the way to do it. But once again, I would not recommend the small vessel for somebody. Wow, look at that precision landing right there. I didn't even crash it into the earth. So for anybody that's trying to build and go fast, I would say the small vessel is a good way to go. However, do those go bad? Okay, I was going to say, I hope the fibers don't go bad. So we've got Akua fruits. They give add food, add stamina, armor, hit points. Wow, those actually give you quite a bit. I'm going to eat one right now. I don't see, unless I needed Akua fruits for our little process. Why is my jetpack randomly turned on? That's weird. Does that give me Akua fruit? Cool. I want Akua fruit. Give me that Akua fruit. Give me that Akua fruit. I want those fibers too. As much fiber as I can get. Regularity is an important thing. Once you start to get old like me, you'll find out you start scheduling like your entire day around just like your regular. It's ridiculous. That was the moment that I knew that I was old, when I was starting to check the back of boxes for fiber content to make sure that like I was getting a proper amount every day, because, you know, sitting around being like, been on the toilet now for an hour and a half and nothing seems to have happened. We've had 0 migratory patterns in the midst of my biology. Normally, I used to be able to accomplish this very, very rapidly. One must assume at this point that perhaps this is a function of my aging and perhaps also of my diet. Therefore, maybe I should get on this. So if I put these in here, that's fine. They added perish timers to the flour, so watch out for that as well. I had a perish timer one time, but it really just calculated how long we were allowed to be at recess. I think that I went to a religious school. So anyways, I think we needed energy pills. What do those come from? Eggplant parts. Ah, I'm glad I didn't eat those then, because I really, really needed that. So we've got energy pills, and I need magnesium powder to make that work as well. Fiddling with new stuff right now, and I figured I would just throw it on camera. I was going to skip all this, and I was just going to get ready to leave and go somewhere else. But I figured since I had already done so much stuff off camera, I didn't want to, like, turn people off to the series by sort of... I don't even really want half of that. I mean, 50 of it will be fine, I guess. I got enough magnesium to last me a while, so I'm not going to be too concerned about it anytime soon. We'll throw that up in there. Let's make a couple of energy pills. Anything that I can convert right now into something that won't perish is kind of a big deal to me. And so for that to work, you need space durian, you need bread, you need plastic raw materials. Okay, rock dust is easy. Actually, most of these things aren't that difficult to get. I think the pear things and the space durians are the two that I'm not really sure where you get them. Do they come out of here? We got tomato, pumpkin, corn, durian. Okay, so there's the durian. And then a pear thing. Do I have both of these planted over here? Like, what kind of that? No, that was a corn plant. But I know I have a durian right there. So what I might be able to do is I've got an extra lamp. It's kind of a waste. But slap that maw in right there, and it'll use the durian plant, and we can just keep an eye on it. I think setting up large-scale industrial farming is probably going to be something, or at least like an area where we can farm out a ton of food is probably going to be a smart idea. And luckily enough for me, these Akua fruits were not actually that popular in the recipe, so I can just eat those right now. The other thing that I wanted to take a look at, oh, we needed to put down the water generator. That's what it was. I was trying to think. I was looking out there and I was waiting for something on the horizon to stimulate my memory and be like, this is what we were supposed to be working on. And I was like, oh, okay. Wait, why am I discovering? I already knew about that Promethium Deposit. Did it reset my map? Let me go. I'm going to go look at the Promethium Deposit real fast because it's rediscovering deposits that I should already know about. So with the water generator here, my guess is that it very much likes to be powered. So, power up! That was from Altered Beast, wasn't it? I played a lot of... What are these 17 foods from? Get out of here. I got like a whole bunch of rotten nothingness inside my inventory. I got more eggplant parts. What? Alright, well, apparently I've got more eggplant parts. And so I need to put those back in the little generator-y thing over on the other side, too. Otherwise, we will be wasting resources. And I don't want to be wasting resources right now. Got another eggplant over here. What is that? An alien spike lemon. It's thrusting and looking kind of gross at me. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I already mentioned that, though, in the first episode when we were playing. What does this do right here? Looks like a clump of molars. Here, it's like a tooth plant. Brutal. You know your dentition's gone wrong when you grow a tooth plant. You're like, doctor, I have a very real issue. You know that happened to a guy one time? A strawberry plant grew inside of his nose. Gnarly. Like one of those little seeds got embedded in the side of his nasal passage, and because it was moist enough, it basically just like emulated soil, and the plant started to grow in his nose, and he got a super bad infection. He had to go to the doctor and get it all checked out, and they had to remove it surgically. Brutal. You wonder who these people are, but then again, they're kind of like me, I guess, where they avoid. It's got to be a dude thing too. You just like don't go to the hospital as much as possible. Like if you're not dying from it, I'm not going to a hospital. Like I'll just let it hurt. If it hurts for the rest of my life, that's fine. It's not expensive. It doesn't matter. It can hurt forever. Pain is not expensive. I can leave it there. However, the second it starts to feel like an actual threatening presence, I'll be up in there. I'll be like, "Doctor, help me, doctor. Help me, daddy. I got a plant growing on my nose." I'm going to throw a couple of corn dogs in my gullet because free food is free food. Never underestimate the value of a free meal. For real. It's one of my favorite things. As an adult, free meals are the greatest thing ever. Like when somebody invites you out to dinner and they're like, "Hey, you want to go to the steakhouse tonight?" And you're like, wow, that is a herd of animals over here. Well, you know what has to happen now. Let's do this thing. Yeah! The rocket launcher hunting was a lot less successful than I thought it would be. I was assuming that like we would get some AoE splash damage in there, maybe kill like 5 animals with one shot. And it didn't really go that way at all. That animal is adorable right there. He makes me happy. Well, now that I've seen the other side, from this angle, he looked kind of cute. But then I came around this way, and he's got like a velociraptor thing going on that I just can't get behind. I just can't get behind it. You there, sir. Would you like to give up your meat for the glory of the splat? Thank you. I appreciate your donation. He's like, I kind of feel like donation is a real rough term right now. I can't say that it's exactly a donation. It was more of a seizure. Now I'm like, well, I mean, you're having seizures right now because I shot you with like 900 bullets. On the plus side, it took me 25 rounds to kill you, and I think that's something you should be proud of. That's something that you should not discount. There's not a whole lot of critters in the world that can take 25 bullets to the face and not fall. What is this? Cobra leaves. Oh, that makes sense because they kind of look like Cobra. It's pretty cool stuff. I do wish that some of this stacked. I also wish that I could get some stamina back because I know that I have like 900 energy pills, but I don't really want to be like ODing on uppers right now while we wait to do other things. The last thing we need to do on the space vessel that I wanted to invite you guys to do, speaking of which, while I'm looking at it, there was another thing that I wanted to do with the space vessel before we leave, and it was I wanted to slap some guns on it. And I didn't know which guns we should go for, but I definitely knew that you guys would not want to miss that process. It would be like, where are the guns at? Why did you put the guns on it without us here? Put the guns on. I'm figuring I'm going to go with chain guns. That's just the kind of person that I am. I like ballistic weapons. I really sincerely do. Energy weapons are nice, but ballistic weapons are badass as hell, especially futuristic space weapons that are ballistic. So we need to turn this stuff into ham, I think. And if we don't, can I turn this into ham from right here? How do I turn this into ham? Where the ham at? Oh, there it is. So the ham goes bad in 35 minutes, though. Okay, well, I'll make that last then. I guess I'll make, like... Let me just make a bunch of salamis for right now so that I can feed myself in the meantime. Alien spike lemons appear to be quite poisonous, so I don't need those. The Akua fruits are fine. Let me throw in all the eggplants. And once the eggplants are done... How many eggplants do I have? I've got 7. So we'll make 7 more energy pills so that those don't go bad. The energy pills last forever, so if we can just use the plants to get things out right now. Oh, look, there's an egg right there. That's kind of cool. So eggs just grow on plants. That's pretty badass. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, look, the durian plant is growing. Good, because I need that. And then the last thing that I need is a parathing plant, and I don't think that's it. I think that's corn. But I think I have another farming plot in here somewhere. Yeah, I got one more farming plot right there. And so what I may consider doing... Why are these lights off? Oh, because the sun is out. They turn themselves off automatically when the sun is out. That's kind of cool. I guess I didn't really think about it, but... Oh, no, that one's still on. Or is it all the lighting? I'm a little bit weirded out right now. I'm not really sure what to say about this. I'll pick the wheat in a minute because... I don't know. It's not going to be helpful right now. I'll probably put down... I'll probably start another farming location right here. This one will be just for the pairthings for right now. But we also need to figure out how to get a pairthing plot. So do I have one? I do. I have a pairthing sprout, but I only have one of them. Alright, well let's make this one count, shall we? And honestly, if you could get a plant to count, I feel like you'd probably have accomplished some sort of major feat in the scientific field. I'm going to put my last lamp right here, so that the one by one, it gets all the stuff around it. Then I'll put another one maybe like right here, and I'm gonna make this a whole nother plot so that we have a whole bunch of plants right there. Let's go check on our water processing and see how long that took, because I assume that this is probably gonna be something that's gonna take us a bit. I just want to be prepared when we go off world. That's really the only thing that I'm concerned about for right now. Is I just want to be really safe. So we got some purified water right there. It gives you 50 stamina. That might not be a bad thing to carry around a 100 stack of either. I've got a coup of fruit though, so let me throw some more food in my inventory. Keep on munching and crunching while I'm out here. Get my gurgi on. There we go. That was one of my first fantasy novels, actually. The Black Cauldron, and then the one that came after it, Terran Wanderer, actually was the first book I ever read that was a fantasy novel. And then after that, I went back and I read the previous one. I very much like those novels. They're a good jump-off point for kids that like don't know where to start with fantasy. Although honestly, if you get really into Dragonlance, I feel like Dragonlance is a very adolescent friendly world too, because it's got a lot of the things that like adolescents will like, because I liked it when I was 13 or 14. I thought Dragonlance was the shit. I should probably put some guns on this thing. Where am I even going right now? I'm not even sure what I'm doing. I just jumped in the whip and decided to fly off. The only problem that I have so far is that turning is kind of weird. Like, you see what we're doing right now? How the turning like takes forever. That's the only thing that I've really had trouble with so far with flying. But much beyond that, yeah, we definitely need some guns on this beezy. What kind of spacecraft doesn't have any Brucka? Let's go ahead and handle that right now. Let's go get some Brucka. I wonder if they fix the guns where I have to put ammo in them now. I don't know. They should also allow you to recalibrate the weapons, or at least create a focal point for your weapons, so that you could fire all weapons at the same point instead of like constantly drifting around. So what do we have in here? Like, what can I make? As far as guns are concerned, we need power coils and CPUs for those to work. I can't make advanced CPUs until I have access to like Empyrion or something like that. And you can't get that until you're on the next planet. We've got a pulse laser. We've got a rail gun, which we could actually... Nope, that needs 5 advanced CPUs as well. So I guess... the Gatling gun is just about all that we could produce. It looks like all of the laser weapons require advanced CPUs, which make us go to the next planet in order to properly stock them. So I'll get some Gatling guns going right now. I don't think I have enough for these, though. Yeah, I do. I just put a bunch of parts in there. I'm going to get the Gatling guns going. When this is all finished up, I'm going to come back with the next episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Empyrion. I hope you guys are still enjoying the series. I'm having a blast playing it right now. I do think that this is a very good game, and I think it is worth your attention. In the legions of bad games on Steam, this one stands out as not being one. And so anyways, if you wanted to check it out, I've got the link down below. I will see you all later. Hi to everybody.